My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my list of the best TV shows of 2024. So let's begin with the sixth best show, and it was Nobody Wants This Season 1. This show was a romantic comedy that I found charming, I found funny, and I found entertaining. Like, this was such an easy show to watch, but I also think it's smarter than given credit for. Like, people are viewing it in a very surface level way, but there's plenty here about societal expectations and family and different worldviews. And I thought it was very well written, and Adam Brody does a great job here. It's not great. I wasn't the biggest fan of Christian Bale's character, but I still quite enjoyed this show. The fifth best show of 2024 is Fallout Season 1. And let's begin by talking about the best part, and it's Ella Purnell's performance. Her character Lucy is so well written, and I love the arc she's given this season, and Ella just plays her perfectly. She's charming, she's likable, she brought plenty of personality to her, and she just sells you on everything that she needed to. I thought the production design, the costumes, the CGI were actually quite good here. I like how there's all these weird sci fi aspects like giant mecha robots, monsters, mutated people. Like, it's weird and it's out there, and I like that. Um, Walton Goggins did a really good job, and I thought the ending was actually quite great. It got me really excited for season 2, so that's why Fallout is my fifth favorite show. My fourth favorite show is The Penguin Season 1, and this is a show that is sitting very well with me. I still think that this season could have been one episode shorter, but what we got was really solid. I like how this is a show about a villain, and it actually leans into that to the point where you despise Oz by the end of this season. They give him plenty of depth and you understand him, but you don't give a shit. He is such a despicable scumbag and you want him dead. And I love that. Colin Farrell gives a really fantastic performance. He carries this show perfectly, and the makeup is just top notch. But I thought Christian Milioti was the one to steal the show. She just elevates this character in every sense, and I thought episode 4 was the highlight. So, yeah, the Penguin. I don't like the Batman. I actually think it's such an overrated movie, but this show walks. My third favorite show of 2024 is actually quite similar to the Penguin in some ways, but it's Sweet Pea Season 1. And let's begin by talking about the best part. Ella Purnell's performance is a masterclass here. I love how she's funny and charming, and you can tell she's really insecure at first, but then she starts gaining confidence and she just sells you on everything that she needed to. And I love how at first you disagree with this character, but you understand her, you sympathize for her to some degree, but then the show by the end just makes you face the reality of the situation that this person is such a pathetic loser, and you're faced to deal with that in a way that twisted my stomach up in knots. It's so good, and I love how this show can be very funny, it can be charming, it's very entertaining, but it's also twisted and disturbing and very tense. Like throughout the entire last episode, I kept waiting for things to escalate, and I was left in suspense for like 40, 50 minutes, and it was so good. And I thought the rest of the cast also did a really good job, and I can't wait for season 2. This might be the most underrated show of 2024. The second best show of 2024, and I'm kind of cheating here, but it's Invincible season 2. Yes, I'm including both halves here because, look, I just love this show. I guess some people were disappointed with season 2, and I don't really get it, to be honest. Like, this is such a great continuation of the first season where Mark is terrified of becoming like his dad, and he is trying to be human and live a normal life, and he's trying to be good, and he just feels like he's not living up to these expectations he has set for himself, and I just think he is one of the best written characters ever. I love how you got a little bit of Spider-Man 2 here. Well, his relationship with Amber is much better in this season, and she's understanding and they love each other, but they just can't walk. And yeah, I love that. Also, the final episode, well, shit, what was his name? Sterling K. Brown's character, big brain dude from the multiverse. Um, that section is amazing and brutal, intense. Well, he's like psychologically torturing Mark, and you understand how Mark is driven to drastic means. And that scene where he's just pummeling the shit out of him, and he's like, I thought you were stronger. So good. Oh my goodness. I love this show. Um, I also love how like shocking things happen all the time. I love how this show uses blood. I love the use of its soundtrack at times. That opening scene set to Karma Police by Radiohead is just a total vibe. I like the animation. Like it's not great, but I like it. And um, yeah, I love how this show uses like time travel and multiverses and superpowers and uses them in such unique, effective ways. And I thought Stephen Long did a great job, Sandra Oh, J.K. Simmons, Zazie Beetz, Gillian Jacobs. Just so much to love here. It is my favorite superhero show ever, and I can't wait for season 3 in just a few weeks, actually. But come on, you already know what my favorite show of 2024 is. And in fact, I'm going to say it here that this is my favorite season of television ever. And it's Arcane Season 2. Oh, but Gavin, it's so rushed. Oh, but Gavin, we needed another season. But Gavin, I blah blah blah. I don't care. I've heard every complaint and I just disagree with them. This season is why I love TV shows. It's why I love visual storytelling. And I could go on and on about it for hours, and I kind of already have, but this show just affects me on such a deep level. Let's start with the animation because this is the best looking anything ever. Like, it's constantly stunning. The colors and the environments and the characters are brought to life so perfectly, but it also does weird, interesting things where weapons might glitch out or where it turns into 2D animation as it's tracking a character, and there's a scene that's charcoal painted, there's a scene that looks like a comic book, there's a scene that uses graffiti in very interesting ways, there's a scene where it's watercolor, which by the way, that scene is just beautiful. There's a scene where they use this bright light type of coloring, and it's so interesting. I could go on and on forever about the animation. It is just so beautiful and breathtaking and ambitious, and I love the style. The soundtrack is so good. I'm still listening to it on repeat. Circle, Spin the Wheel, The Line, Wasteland, Remember Me, some of my favorite songs of all time. To Ashes and Blood, Heavy as a Crown, Feel It Now, Renegade is good, Rebel Heart, Cocktail Molotov, Fantastic. Just, I could go on. And the way each song is used is so good, and I love this type of storytelling. It is efficient and it is so effective. I love how the show treats its audience with intelligence and trusts them to figure things out. And I know some people don't like that, and that is their big complaint. I love it. I really do. And holy shit, this show just hits every emotional beat that it needs to. Like, I bawled my eyes out. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I don't know, so many times. And I love how it can make you feel joy and happiness and hopeful in one moment, only to make you feel awful and depressed the next. And they just know how to work the audience like puppets. It's such good storytelling, and I love the way these characters are written. I care about Jinx and Vi and Caitlyn and Jace and Victor and Echo and Heimerdinger on such a deep level. The voice performances are great. Ella Purnell, so good here. Like, to be honest, it's a joke she isn't nominated for a single dramatic performance because they don't treat animation with respect, but Haley Steinfeld, Katie Leong, Reed Shannon, Harry Lloyd, Kevin Alejandro does a great job. Just everyone's doing great work here. I love how ambitious and big and bold this season is. Like, it takes the groundwork from season 1 and uses that to go and crazy directions. And like, there's a point in episode 6 where I'm like I buy every beat getting to this point, but this feels like a fever dream. And I've never experienced that in a show before, but this show just does it so well. I love every second of it. I've rewatched this season so many times, and I will continue to watch it so many times. It just reminds me why I love TV shows, and it just, I could really go on about for so much longer, but I feel like I've said my piece. This season just fully delivered for me, and I love it, and I can't wait to see more in this universe. Riot Games are onto something really special here, and they've got big expectations to live up to from this point on, and fingers crossed they pull it off. But Arcane Season 2 is just a work of art. It's a masterpiece. It is one of my favorite things ever, period. So that's why it's number 1. But what's your favorite TV shows of 2024? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.